I know it's been a long time since my last video, but since school's out, it's time for me to make more. So let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Doni Reviews. I'm Doni Benergy, and today we'll be reviewing Jurassic World. Now, when I first started this channel, I started with Naked Gun, and then after that, I reviewed the first 3 Jurassic Park movies. So, some of you might already know what I think of them, or probably think that I have a different perspective now that I'm older. But for those people who are still thinking of, or wondering what I think of the other films, here's my little simplified thoughts on the Jurassic Park movies. Great. Okay. Big piece of shit. So, yeah. Now, on to our review of Jurassic World, which stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Irfan Khan. So, the plot of Jurassic World is, well, the park is open. Finally, we get to see the rides. We get to see attractions. We actually get to see what the park would have looked like had the park had been completed and had the park actually been open, which it is. But the thing is that it's been open for a period of time. It hasn't it's not like opening day or anything like that. It's actually, it's like how Disney World is. Disney World's been around for a very long time, and so every couple of years they have to come up with something new, have to get rid of old stuff, have to replace stuff. And what they do is that Bryce Dallas Howard's character has noticed that in some focus groups, people have been getting tired of seeing a T-Rex, and people have gotten tired of seeing things like, just dinosaurs. So they need to come up with something new. So what they come up with is a genetically modified hybrid, which is mixed with a T-Rex and a little something else. Now, what happens to this little hybrid is that, well, like in the original Jurassic Park, the basic gist of it was basically, this is what happens when you screw with nature. And of course, they don't make the same mistakes, they make more mistakes. And, which is what happens, not only do you screw with nature, but you play with God in the sense that you're mixing two characteristics of two types of dinosaurs that really shouldn't be together, which creates this real big violent killing machine. And what it's called is Indominus Rex. And as you might imagine, and as you guess from the trailers, it does break loose, it does attack various people, and of course all hell breaks loose. Now it's up to both, not just Bryce Dallas Howard, but it's also by Chris Pratt, who is basically a raptor whisperer. Now I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's basically Caesar Milan, that dog whisperer guy, mixed with Indiana Jones, that sort of sense. And what he does is that he communicates with raptors in the sense that the raptors trust him. It's like what was in the trailers with the motorcycle with those raptors coming. They're not coming to eat him, or they're just pretending to be his friend or something. They work together. And so it's really cool to see that. And Vincent D'Onofrio, he's basically this villain character who really just wants to use the raptors for his own personal gain. He wants to get notoriety, and he's kind of like our Wayne Knight substitute. He's kind of like the Wayne Knight's character in the original Jurassic Park. D'Onofrio's motivation in this movie is to basically just get a notoriety by saying, hey, I saved the park by using raptors, and basically using raptors as basically a weapon as opposed to an attraction or something like that. He wants to use them as weapons. And then you get these two kids. Basically, the movie really begins with these two kids going to Jurassic Park. One's a teenager, the other one's like a little kid. That little kid from Iron Man 3. Yeah, he's in this movie. And they are basically I guess they're trying to make this relatable, because I don't know what it is, but every single Jurassic Park movie, there always has to be at the very least one or two kids. Like every movie, every single film in the quadrilogy. There's 4 of them now. There always has to be kids, but you know, I can't complain. I guess you know, it has. You know, Spielberg liked it, and I guess you know, well, Crichton liked it because it was this. You know, but anyway. Now, I think that's all the plot I'll give, but I will try my best to just formulate my thoughts. This film, now, this movie to me, I think is actually, now like I said, the first movie, Jurassic Park, is definitely one of the best, one of Spielberg's best, and definitely one of the best movies in the 90s. It's a great film. The second film, though it's directed by Spielberg, and though it's not as, and though it is a flawed film, I personally think is a very good movie, and I think people should appreciate it for what it is. Spielberg did the best that he could, given the fact that at the time he had personal problems. His kid was sick, so he had to videotape most of the movie via Skype. So there was that. Jurassic Park 3, completely big piece of crap. Like I said, it's a big pile of shit. Lame plot, lame characters, with the exception of Sam Neill, and just, you know, big problems. Now, that's my opinions on those films. Let me stick to Jurassic World. Jurassic World, I think, is close to as much as I loved the original Jurassic Park. You know, it has the action, it has the feeling, it's got that sense of adventure to it, as usual. It's got that sense of danger as the original did, and you get one kick-ass fight at the end, which is awesome, and I suggest you guys to see that. That was cool, and for those people who did see it and saw it, agree with me. The ending of that. Oh my god, that was cool. Now, some things I didn't like about the film. Now, I have to talk about what I didn't like about the film. This is just a little gripe for me. Because I love the first one, I also love the characters from the first one. I would have liked to have seen, at the very least, one cameo from Sam Neill, one cameo from Jeff Goldblum, one cameo from Laura Dern. Like, just somebody from the original movie. Instead of that, that, like, freaking scientist dude who, yeah, he's that Asian guy who was, in the movie. He was in the first one, but he was only in one scene. And I think that's the only way, so that way these two films can be linked up, minus the little mention. There is one little mention of the first park, and there is a nice little, scene where they do... The island in this film is, where this film takes place is the same island where Jurassic Park 1 took place. And not only that, but it has a little, like... They kind of abandoned some of the old attractions from the original Jurassic Park, which the two kids get to go and visit. Like, they even find the sign at the end of if you've seen the original Jurassic Park, the T-Rex, like, knocks down, like, this little sign, "When dinosaurs ruled the earth," and one of the kids finds it and uses it as a torch, and it's really cool, and I was like, yes. And they use one of the old cars. I love that. You know, so those are one of the nice little tributes I like to the original Jurassic Park. But other than that, the film really feels more, there are feelings to this film that makes it feel more like it could be a reboot. Like, you take out all those little tributes, and you take out all those little excerpts, and you take out the scientist guy from the first movie. You take all that stuff out of this movie. This is a remake of Jurassic Park, basically. Or a reboot of Jurassic Park. Like, what Jurassic Park would have been like if the park was open. Which is the one thing I do like. Now, to the park aspect. If this theme park was real, minus all the catastrophes that were going on, but if this theme park was real, I would like to go to it. If the security was very well done, of course. Now, I like the rides, I like the attractions that they would do, because like, this could be a theme park. Like, I remember one other reviewer who talked about this film said that this is basically what Disney World could be. And that person was absolutely right. This is kind of Disney World, not because it's got World on it, but because, you know, it's got monorails, it's got attractions, it's got various different resorts, like various different parks for you to go to. You know, there's a freaking park area where with like Triceratops, which you could take the little ones to, which is awesome. Now, there's this one. This is the one thing I liked from Jurassic Park 3. Of course, this film did it better. The pterodactyl stuff. Now, as for this movie, of course they did it better. Like, there's this one scene, like, I mean, I've been giving spoilers away in this review anyway, and the movie's been out for a week. But there's this one scene where this woman, she's basically the babysitter of these, like, two little kids. By the way, the two little kids are basically Bryce Dallas Howard's nephews. But anyway, she does a horrible job at this, and what happens is she gets carried out by a pterodactyl, and then she's dropped in the river, and then the pterodactyl keeps picking her up and down out of the river, and then the big giant water dinosaur, the giant crocodile thing, comes out of the water, and then you know, eats the pterodactyl with her inside the pterodactyl. Like she gets into the pterodactyl, or the pterodactyl eats her, and then the big sea dinosaur eats the pterodactyl, and it's really cool. Now, I have to talk about the acting. Of course, Chris Pratt does a great job. In fact, I think I like him more in this than I did in Guardians of the Galaxy. But this film was really cool, and you believe that he could but he could actually calm the raptors down, that he could actually interact with them. You believe that, and you think, and you know, it's awesome. It's really cool. Bryce Dallas Howard, I mean, she was good, but she almost felt like she could, like you could put anybody in that role, and it would have been the same thing. I mean, she did a good job with what she was given. It's just the role was pretty. It wasn't dull. It was pretty, like, well. Vincent D'Onofrio was a very good villain, I think. Well, antagonistic character. Of course, I like what happens to him at the end. You know, and Irfan Khan, I have respect for the man. Hated how underused he was. They keep wasting that guy. And no, I'm not saying that just because he's Indian and I'm Indian. I'm saying that because he's a good actor. Watch this, and then you'll know what I mean. Anyway, that's it for my review of Jurassic World. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. And I love this movie very much. Overall, it is a great film. It's better than Jurassic Park 3. It might be almost as good, if not just as good, as the original Jurassic Park. I personally give the movie a 9 out of 10. So that's it for now. This is Donnie Benergy, signing off. See you around.